What I'm actually doing right now is filing down these bolts that are fixing or just keeping in place this plate, and this is the way of the branch where it goes to the cutter, to these blades. So they might just touch this one and hang up there. So that's what I'm doing right now, is filing these bolts down. This I already started filing, just to be a little bit smoother, so for the branch not to have any impediment in front of it in going to the cutter, to the blades. Just another small improvement in order for the chipper or for the mulcher to work smoother. So it's done. I've filed down those ends of the bolts, and now they are no longer an obstacle in front of the branches being cut. Moreover, I've also polished this plate a little bit to be smoother in order for the branches to slip even better. I just polished it with a fine grained sandpaper. This is the end result. Really good, and a small improvement in the working of this branch chipper. Since we are here and we've opened this drum housing, you can see also the chipping blade, which is this one, which is held in place by two bolts, 16mm bolts. So they are really shallow in order for them to clear this passage, and you cannot unscrew them with a regular socket, a regular 16mm socket. You will have to buy a special one which doesn't have those tapered edges, and they range from £7.99 to £10. That wouldn't be an issue. The issue is that the mailing or the shipping for it costs 3 times as much, or you cannot find that item in any store. So what you can do, or what I did, was to go and buy a regular edge tapered 16mm impact socket, like this one, for, I don't know, £2. Local Home Depot, hardware store, whatever you have, and then just file this part down as to remove those tapered edges, or in my case I will cut them down with the angle grinder. So another tip for you to be able to open and unscrew this cutting blade. And this is the end result. So now we no longer have those tapered edges. Everything is plumb and smooth, and we won't have the risk of rounding the edges of the bolts when we are trying to unscrew them. This is how it will come put here, because as I said, these bolts are really thin, so there is a risk to round them off and not being able to unscrew them. Hence this tool that I've acquired for like £2 and cut it straight, cut it flush, and now I no longer need to acquire one for the price of anywhere between 8, 10, 12 pounds plus the shipping, which is 3 times that amount. What I used for cutting it was this angle grinder, put on this support and just cut it down. So here's an idea. If you have a Forest Master and you need a socket to unscrew those blades, here's an idea to make one. So this is the final product. This is how the unit should be assembled and used. When it came with some of its pieces pre-assembled. So the entire intake hopper was assembled meaning that it had these accessories here. So this stopper, which prevents you from entering wood that is thicker than 5 centimeters in diameter or 2 inches. And inside there, let's see if we can see it, there is, yes, it can be seen, there is this rubber protection that keeps the debris from flying back up the chute. These two accessories were pre-assembled, so they were put in place and held with these screws. So this upper plate has 4 screws, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. And this rubber sheet protection is caught or is held in place only by 2 screws, these 2. And the only thing that you needed to do in order to mount this in-feed hopper was to put this lip, which didn't have these holes, I drilled them later, put this lip beneath this long screw and screw in here this screw. Again, these 2 holes weren't drilled in, I drilled them, and fasten it here. Now the thing is that, as you can see, being held in place only by 1 screw, it has a certain wiggle, a certain large wiggle, which I didn't like, especially because this hopper doubles also as handles, so you can tilt it and move it around. And this screw from the back here, which fastens and holds in place this hopper, has another role. This is a switch which is engaged by this screw, so this one should be screwed in until the device can be started. So you cannot fasten this as tight as you would like or as you want. This is a safety feature because if this screw is opened and unscrewed, then it means that this switch will be off and the hopper might be off, and you might have put your fingers in there where the blades are rotating. So this is a safety feature, and in order to make this much sturdier, I drilled 4 holes, 1 here, 1 here, so 2 on this side, and I drilled an additional 2 holes here in order to fasten the hopper much tighter and much better on the machine. This thing was done, so I drilled the holes and I have the screws and I just need to tighten them in. I just wanted you to see the before and after. Then other modification that I've done to this machine was to remove this plate, because as you can see here, these openings only allow you to put sticks, so long sticks, not bushy branches that would be cramped in. So this one I have already taken it down. I just put it now to see, for you to see. So this one will be taken down. The safety sheet of rubber will stay in place. However, it will be moved a little bit upper, so here instead of here. And here there will be another gadget to put there that I will show you a little bit later. And another thing that I will do will be to take off this part of the exit chute, and I'm doing that because I need a little bit more clearance here between the exit chute and the ground, and it also allows me to put here underneath it a bucket or any other recipient which I can use for the mulch to be stored in while being created, while the branch is being chopped. Another thing that I like is to see, so as I said, another thing that I like is to see it also to be more aesthetical. So here we can see that the exit chute was caught on it, was fastened here, was put here with these two bolts, which are welded onto this chute. However, they are really long and they have this type of nuts, but I would like to shorten them and put this type of nut, so like this capped nut will look much better. But in order to put it, I'll have to cut a little bit the bolts to be shorter. And on the same topic, I don't like how they are looking here, these three bolts. So again, I will replace those nuts with these kind of cap nuts. This time I'll just have to replace them. Also here, the bolts that will be put will have this type of nuts, just for them to look a little bit better. So those are the main improvement changes, modifications that I've done, or I will be doing on this unit. And later on I'll show you about that gadget that I said that I will be placing over here. So what I'm doing right now is putting some thread locker on all the bolts that are keeping in place the in-feed hopper, and the bolts that are keeping in place this hour meter and RPM meter. And also, as mentioned, the RPM meter, this one, will be put in place with the bolts that keep this protection onto the in-feed hopper. And as a bonus, another thing that I did, I put this rounded plastic tube here in order for the branches to no longer get stuck in this edge. If you own a Forest Master FM6DD, these simple upgrades might save you some time and make the machine even more practical. None of them are expensive, but together they've made a noticeable difference. The first upgrade was replacing several standard nuts with deep cap nuts. They protect the exposed thread from dirt, moisture, and accidental impacts, while also giving the machine a cleaner, more finished look. Next, I secured the feed hopper with bolts to make it more rigid. It now feels much more solid, with no unwanted movement during operation. Another upgrade was protecting the exposed edge of the feed hopper. I cut the pipe lengthwise and fitted it over the edge. This not only protects the hopper from damage, but also creates a smooth surface that helps branches slide in more easily. It's especially helpful with black locust branches, whose thorns tend to catch on sharp metal edges. To make cleanup easier, I placed a large plastic collection bin under the discharge chute to collect the mulch as it comes out. This keeps the work area much cleaner and makes it easy to carry the mulch wherever I need it. My favorite upgrade is the single wire tachometer. Installation takes only a few minutes. Just wrap the sensor wire around the spark plug lead. No complicated wiring is needed. Now I can monitor the engine RPM and track the total engine hours, making tuning and maintenance much easier. These are all simple modifications, but together they've made my Forest Master FM6DD more reliable, easier to use, and more enjoyable to work with. If you've made any upgrades to your own machine, let me know in the comments. I love to hear your ideas. If you found this video useful,
please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more practical equipment videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.